Good afternoon, everyone. This is Woody Collins with Congo Helping Hands, and it's another episode of Talking About Congo. We have a couple interesting subjects that came up. One that we all are familiar with, COVID-19, and we're going to be talking about the COVID-19 uh, statistics in the Congo. And then we also going to wrap around and talk about life expectancy in the Congo. So that's the two topics that we're going to talk about today. As I said, I'm Woody Collins with Congo Helping Hands, and I primarily work with a lot of doctors and health officials. And so this idea of health and COVID-19, Ebola, and all those things are very interest to me. And so that's the reason why today is a interesting topics to talk about. Okay, the first thing, let's get Ebola out of the way. Saw one report today, one of the news agencies, it wasn't official from the World Health Organization, but they had the the Ebola outbreak at 124 people that's been infected with 50 deaths. So that's not much more. I think it's one or two people more that's been infected, but the deaths I think are still at 50. So we still haven't saw the World Health Organization come out and give us any specific numbers on that. So, but let's get into our topics today. The first topic we're going to talk about is the COVID-19 statistic. As you all may remember, that Congo has only about 10,655 or so confirmed cases, and it went up to today. It went up to 272 deaths. So 10,600 and some 655 confirmed cases and 272 deaths. So we here in the United States would be happy with those numbers, and we would be running around and back to normal if we had those type of numbers here in the United States. However, one of the articles that was reported by the Okapi radio station and in their daily news briefs, uh, one of the provinces over in eastern Congo, that's also been Ballan Ebola. They published, the health minister said that they had problems. They had sent in about 500 tests. They only got back about half of those, say 250, and of the 250 tests that they gave them, that they returned, 150 of them was positive. So what that talks about is, and what you can glean from that is that they have been underreporting their counts of confirmed cases. There are a lot more cases of COVID-19 in the Congo than they publish. And it's not something that they've been doing maliciously to deceive people. It's just the system of, of, of how things work in the Congo. As I have said before, the Congo is a very poor country and has a weak health system. And so the health system is decentralized, and the only testing place they have is in Kinshasa. So you have to send those tests, which you take a test out in the eastern area. you would have to send that back all the way to Kinshasa. And knowing how things work in the Kinshasa, there's not flights every day. If is a flight, there is only one flight a day. So number one is wherever you took that case, took the samples from to be tested, you would have to get it to the airport. So that may be 1 or 2 days away from where you're located at. Then you get it, then they take it, would fly it into Kinshasa, and then it will be with the other tests that's coming from the other provinces that health officials have suspected of COVID-19. So there are people that they suspect that has the virus, and so they do send those back, because even in the Kasai province, where I work at, they uh, they had suspected 3 people had it, and they sent the test in, and the test came back negative, or it was lost, or whatever the case may be. So there is that case, that there is that instance where they're not testing as much, and also they are not, the test may be lost, may be contaminated, or it may be just still sitting in backlog at this point in time. So with with as they reporting 10,655 confirmed cases, it's probably the actual number of cases may be higher, probably is higher, but they don't really know. And so if you're looking at how many people have been infected by the COVID-19, it's something more than that. And and also, I would also say the deaths, which I've always said, even though it had not been confirmed, that the deaths are probably also uh, understated, because as here, uh, when people die, we take them to a hospital. A medical examiner comes out to look at them, cause of death, or you may even take them into the hospital to be examined, the body examined, and so therefore you come out with more of a realistic uh, case of who has died from COVID-19. Where in the Congo they don't do such thing. If if you would have was to die at home, your family probably would not take you to the hospital, which may be miles, or even to a clinic, which may be miles away. And the hospital may even be 30 to 40, or maybe even 50 miles away. So they're not going to take you up there just for the doctor to take the sample of blood or whatever they take, uh, to send it to Kinshasa, and whatever. That's just not, it's just not something that you would even think about doing. Most people would not even. The only way you would get into the hospital if the people were taking you to the hospital and you were sick and you died in the hospital, or you died very close to the hospital, then they would probably take you on in there. But otherwise, they would not bear that cost of putting you on a bicycle, or somebody putting you on a stretcher and toting you to the hospital. I've been at the Bulapay Hospital, and people come in on bicycles. They come in on stretchers, being carried by three of say 8 people. They have 4 people on the stretcher, and then you have 4 people who's going to take over. So they just shift and things. So I've seen them, rushing people to the hospital, uh, and also seen people who did not make it to the hospital. When you see a bicycle coming in with a body scratch strapped to it, and the body is all wrapped up, that means to say that they have died either on the way to the hospital, or they died at home and they may be, I don't know what they would be bringing them to the hospital for. So that's the case, that's the reality of the Congo. But let's talk about the life expectancy. And currently, the last year that we have the life expectancy in the Congo is 2018, and the life expectancy of a person born in 2018, for a woman it was 61.9 years, and for a male of 58.65 years. So therefore, the combined rate, they're saying at 60, a little over 60 years old. So a person who was born in the Congo now would be expected to live to their 60 years old. So the expectancy rate is nowhere near what we see here, even though it's been going up. For instance, at independence in 1960, when the Congo got its independence in 1960, the expected combined rate was 41 years, a little over 41 years. And by 1998, when I first went over there, it was 49 years. And I remember hearing that, and I thought, boy, this is a lot different from the United States. And I think that's the reason what gravitated me to working on health issues more than any other, say, education, even though we do education. But, just the fact that people did not live as long and they died for various reasons. So it was 49 years. And finally, up into 2008, it got up to 55. And as I said, now it's a little at 60 years. So the life expectancy is not as is you got a you got a very ending somewhere in that at 60 to 70 years old for the majority of people, but you have a large population of youth there. The median age is 15.6. So that means to say that you got 81 million people in the country, uh, 41 41 million of those people are less than 15 years old, and another 41 is over 15 years old. So that's a combined, and the median comes out to about 25 or 26 years old. So you have a very youthful population in the Congo, and that's one of the reasons why they're doing so well as far as not having that many deaths, even if they have some unreported. It's a younger population, and they are able to survive it a lot more, just as the same as here in the United States, where uh, people over 65, the rate of death if they came infected with COVID-19 is a lot higher than a youth or a person in their 20s if they came infected with the COVID-19. So those are the statistics on it. So those are the things I had to say about that. But I had always suspected that the rate was a little bit higher, or it was underreporting just because of the nature of the country. And but they've opened back up, and you have not seen the rates going back up, but some people are complaining about they're not getting the test done as they should have. So that's what's going on in the Congo. Thank you again for coming by and checking out, talking about the Congo. And I would like to ask you to please subscribe to these daily talks. And if you have any specific areas or questions you have, please let me know. And you can let me know by email or by putting in a comment in Facebook or YouTube, and I will get the comment and address those as quickly as possible. And also, probably make a separate series, separate talk on one of those days. So we do, like to be informative to people who have questions. So please do that. So remember, subscribe to however you're watching this. And finally, as always, I want you to take care of yourself and take care of your families. Be safe, and also wear your mask and be blessed. So until tomorrow at 3 o'clock, when we do this again with another couple of subjects that we will bring up, uh, we will see you at that time. But in the meantime, please be safe.